Live from the Haskell House in downtown Clarion, it's the Redbank Chevrolet exploreClarion.com Main Street Sports Show. I'm your host, Owen Krepps. I'm alone today. No co-host for me. But happy Valentine's Day to all, and it's kind of fitting that I'm alone on Valentine's Day. But anyways, proceeding on, we have two guests here on, Ed Baumcaratz and Roger Walter. Two people that can both be described as North Clarion alumni, former basketball players, former basketball coaches, current basketball referees, current principals, and current husbands to nurses. So very similar lifestyles to these people, but obviously different in their own ways. Welcome to the show, guys, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we got a little bit of a shift up with no co-host today for me, so we're going to be jumping right into our sports headlines to start things out. Pretty simple stuff that we're going to go over real quick here. This is a Clarion-focused show, but we'll get to some of the main sports headlines to start off. Probably the biggest sporting event of the year happened on Sunday, the Super Bowl. The Chiefs won. What was the final score of that? 25-22? The Kansas City Chiefs got it done. They defeated the 49ers. 3 and 5 years for them and Patrick Mahomes. So are they a dynasty? Are they not? That's the conversation we'll all have. Will he catch Tom Brady? He being Patrick Mahomes. It's whatever. I don't know. It's a discussion that we can all have. What do you guys think?
Well, I just want to know if it was the Super Bowl or the Swift Bowl. People watching the Super Bowl for the football or Taylor Swift.
They're right. Yeah. I heard she was only on there for less than a minute in terms of the actual televised time that she had. So Usher was on more, the halftime show as well. Do you guys have a favorite commercial from do you guys remember one? Or I know I have mine. Do you guys remember?
Probably the Budweiser commercials are always good.
Yeah, those are always good. I think my favorite this year was the Uber Eats one where they had Jennifer Aniston. It was like you have to forget how to do something to remember that Uber Eats does more than delivery or whatever. I'm sponsoring Uber Eats right now, so pay me. But I thought that one was funny, how she couldn't remember David Schwimmer's name. But that was interesting. Also going on in the sports world, the Pittsburgh Penguins back. Not really much going on positively for the Penguins right now. It looks like they're probably going to miss the playoffs. Jake Gensel could get traded. But really what I'm here for and sticking out this season is I'm here as a Penguins fan just to kind of reminisce about the good old days. And we have two things that happened recently that kind of reminded me of that. One, the Marc-Andre Fleury night, which was up in Minnesota. They honored him for his 1,000th game and for being second all-time in goaltender wins. So that was nice. And then this Sunday is Jaromir Jagr's jersey retirement against the Los Angeles Kings. So that's fun. Are you guys Penguins fans? Did you guys grow up Penguins fans?
Yeah, I am.
I am not. I'm not really a hockey fan.
Do you guys remember the Jagr glory days, though?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, yeah. So that'll be interesting Sunday night. I hope they at least win that game. Again, I don't think I'm not too optimistic about them making the playoffs. Moving on to the Pirates, a couple signings. We're nearing closer to spring training. The Pirates signed Yasmani Grandal and Joseph Fleming to one-year deals. Only thing that says to me is that those are one-year deals, so that means Ben Cherrington is not fully in on this team.
That means he's going to trade him in July, right?
Yeah, right. They can be traded at the trade deadline. Our notes from Jake, our Pirates expert, they're in talks to trade for a big dude. Edward Cabrera, who's 6'5" and only 25. I don't know. Or will they trade G1 Bay is the rumors. They're also interested potentially in Mitch Jebb and Nick Gonzalez. I'm not huge into baseball. Are you guys?
Yeah, I love baseball. I always go to opening day.
Okay.
Usually take my son, and we always have that dream and hope of making a World Series, and it hasn't happened for a while. But we always can hope.
Get to the wild card round first. Let's
one step at a time.
Yeah. And then lastly, the Steelers. TJ Watt lost Defensive Player of the Year to Myles Garrett. I'm not sure how that was voted on. I completely disagree, but that was interesting. Mitch Trubisky, Chuck Okorafor, and Presley Harvin also got released. And then the trade rumors are picking up for the Steelers potentially getting Justin Fields. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's risky either way. I had heard those rumors. That position's up in the air.
It's up in the air for literally every team, not the Kansas City Chiefs at this point. So
I would not do a first round for him, but if they can get him for a second.
Give up a first for Justin Fields. Interesting. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on in the sports world. Our sports world, local sports world, we got the KSAC Championships coming up, which we will preview when we get back, and we'll pick these guys' brains just kind of on their lives and in general in their sports history. So that's all coming up on the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet and on exploreClarion.com.
Protect your home or business from all those sneaky pests. Give Hugh Henry's Pest Management a call at 814-316-1875 or check them out online at bugguy.com. Pest Management, where nature and technology meet.
Dubrook, a division of M&B Group, is your trusted local ready-mix supplier for residential and commercial projects. Dubrook provides a full line of decorative concrete, as well as concrete supplies, along with a variety of concrete tools and accessories. Dubrook can provide services large or small for residential and commercial projects to contractors or homeowners. Dubrook is here to provide you with options and ideas to make planning your next project simple. Let Dubrook help you with the supplies you need to get the job done. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities with plants in Clarion, Du Bois, St. Mary's, Butler, Evans City, Bradford, and Meadville. Call 1-844-382-7665.
Welcome to 12 Series, a veteran-owned and operated company. Want to stand out amongst the crowd? This is the brand for you. They have apparel that ranges from cardio tanks and hoodies to sweat noggin covers. The apparel isn't just designed for the gym, it's designed for everyday life. Whether at work, the range, or at a family outing, 12 Series will turn heads. Find and like 12 Series on Facebook and Instagram.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kales kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kales, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet and on exploreClarion.com, live from the Haskell House. We have two principals, two coaches, former coaches, two former basketball players, and two current officials for District 9. Joining us today, we got Ed and Roger. How are you guys doing today? Well, let's jump into our main interview segment of things. Just how you guys doing overall?
Really well. Busy time of year, a lot going on. Things are wrapping up, but also heating up.
Of course, yeah. How was... You guys, one's elementary, one is high school in terms of principals. Mm-hmm. Ed, I'm sure you're a lot more nonchalant at the high school level when it comes to Valentine's Day, but Roger, I'm sure today was a chaotic day.
Oh, it was busy. Lots of boxes, lots of Valentines, lots of candy, and a lot of sugar.
What is it? Just another day for you?
We
at the high
do
school
carnations level? In the high school, so they can buy each other carnations. But I have a daughter in preschool, so she brought over this box full of candy. I made a box for her, but it was so plentiful we couldn't fit anything in the box. So we had to open the box like this and just stuff everything in. So it was like another Christmas day.
Another trick or treat or Halloween day.
Yeah, so they were amped up for school today. Of
course. Ed, we have a high school principal at North Clarion, and then Roger, the elementary at Clarion. I just wanted to start off, we'll go back in time. You guys are very similar and have been linked for the majority of your guys' life. You guys grew up together, you guys played basketball together, and you guys coached at the same time and all that good stuff. How often do you guys get compared to each other? Are you sick of the comparisons? And do you think there's any things that really do separate you guys?
There's comparisons, but our paths were similar yet different. He took the boys basketball route, I took the girls basketball route. It wasn't until more recently that I actually stepped away from coaching for a while, and he filled my spot at Clarion. So there's not a ton of comparisons, but you're right, very similar lives.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at first I didn't start out in education. I was a graphic designer for a year, moved to Pittsburgh with my wife, and there was something missing. It wasn't doing it for me in terms of a career. So we moved back to Clarion. My wife went back to the hospital, and I went back to school to get my education degree. So that's kind of how it started. Then I got into coaching, and back in 07 or 08, to get a teaching job, there were so many applicants. You have to set yourself make yourself look good in terms of coaching different things and volunteering. So that's kind of what got me into doing some different coaching, whether it was cross country, girls softball, basketball, you name it. I just did whatever the school need to get noticed.
And I'm sure what is similar between you guys as well is your guys' love for the area. You guys both grew up in the area, both went to North Clarion High School. What stands out about home? What makes it feel like home other than the fact that it is home? What's unique about Clarion?
I'd say family more than anything. My family's very close. My wife's family's very close, and I can't really see us raising our family or having our children where they aren't close to their family.
To be able to coach, you have to have a good support system, and we both have families and supportive lives to a certain extent with coaching, because it can be very stressful and lots of days out and on the road. But if you don't have those support systems and you have kids, you can't coach.
Of course, I know all about that. Not to get too personal, but I went after I graduated college. I went out to Las Vegas, Nevada for a year. Absolutely no support system there. Drove out there and just it was unique. Having a support system is definitely key. I wanted to go back to your guys' high school days. Baseball and basketball for both of you?
Just basketball for me.
Just basketball for you? Baseball,
I did baseball,
for you?
basketball, yes.
But you guys played Little League together, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we did Little League All-Stars. I remember his dad was coach, and we'd be riding around to different games in his conversion van playing cards. That was one of our, and it was a really great time, just having fun and playing the sport we loved.
Of course. Being an American boy, usually growing up, sports are always going to be a part of your life, whether you like them or you're not. But what kind of hooked you guys on sports? The competitiveness. Did you guys have any favorite teams that you watched growing up at the professional level or anything like that?
Basketball. I mean, at our age, it was the Bulls. It was Michael Jordan. It was everything about them that was so exciting. And then in our childhood, that's what you did. I mean, if you wanted to hang out with your friends, you were up playing basketball, transfer into baseball, come back and swim in someone's pool, wrap up the night with more basketball, and that's just what you did.
Yeah. I just remember, like, our childhood, you could be on bikes and just go miles and miles. Now, if my kids wanted to be on a bike, I'd say absolutely not. So it's just kind of weird how things were. There's no cell phones, no distractions. It was pretty much go out, play, and be back by supper.
What was the go-to outdoor location to play ball at?
Well, a buddy of mine, Eric Weiser, had a place with a full court almost, a much larger area than anybody else, so that's where we met.
Yeah, nice. Now, when you guys got to the high school level, you guys both played for North Clarion. Who was the year ahead?
I was 1 year older.
You were 1 year older. What was that experience like just overall? Do you have any specific memories from those 4 years? And then I also wanted to talk about your coach, which we'll get to in a second, but specific memories, overall experience?
Sure.
Yeah, I just remember, I think it was his senior year, my junior year, we would go to places like Clarion and Keystone, and when our bus would pull up, the lines to get in are wrapped around the building. And just the atmosphere, there was no live streaming. If you wanted to go to the game, you're going to fill up the stand. So just having those moments to where there's nobody, you cannot fit any more people in this gymnasium, and it's just a great atmosphere. That's kind of, and just camaraderie with bus rides, just spending time together.
And it was a bigger event than just the game. I mean, there was leading up to the game, the excitement, the game, the atmosphere, everything happened. But then after the game, it was, are we going to hang out at Vince's? Are all the kids going to the sawmill? Like, it was an event that lasted the entire night.
We had somebody like a Chad Nicewanger. He'd get the crowd going by doing the WLVES and then do a backflip off the bleachers. And I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty cool.
What was the go-to spot afterwards after a big win?
Vince's.
Yeah, Vince's for most families, and then the students and players, we ended up at the sawmill most of the time.
Interesting. Now I wanted to ask, of course, about your coach at that time, Ryan Kornecki. Yeah. How important was he, specifically in your high school careers, just playing? And then at that point in your life, did you ever think you guys would become coaches eventually?
I mentioned earlier that Ryan just kind of stepped into our lives like late in my career, and not until our senior year, but he stepped in and was just this motivational person that I can't even describe it to you. I mean, you'd run right through that wall for him. And he walked in and everybody had that same feeling. He just was a leader, motivated you. People were excited to play for him. The community was excited to have him. The cheering section was motivated that he was our coach. Mm-hmm. And he actually impacted my life overall, because I ended up going to Edinburgh to start my college career. And after about most of the way through my freshman year, he called me and said, come back and coach with me. So he was one of the reasons I ended up back in Clarion, and ultimately that's probably why I'm at Clarion School District.
Of course.
Yeah, Ryan's still involved in my life. I'm actually his boss right now. He's a industrial arts teacher at the high school, but we talk basketball all the time, and have never really lost touch throughout the past 20 years.
Now, I want to talk next stage of your guys' life is pursuing education. Not for you just yet, but you, out of high school, Roger, you went the education route. Is that always something you wanted to pursue? And then for you, Ed, when did that kind of click in your mind that you wanted to pursue education?
Go ahead.
It just took, like I said, it took a little bit to kind of realize what I wanted to do. I wanted to find a career and not just a job. And, spending the time with the kids, and, if you go to one of our schools now, it's a lot different than it was back in the day. And now it's about, and he'll say the same thing, it's building relationships. It's helping those kids that don't have families. Maybe they're raised by grandma and grandpa, but it's having that impact on a day-to-day basis, and it's very rewarding. But on the flip side, we're on call 24/7 pretty much, and if something's happening, whether a family member's is in an accident or a kid needs help, we're a phone call away, and each of us will probably drop our hat and we'll be there to support that family.
I was a little more immediate. I still started college undecided, but shortly afterwards, coming back to Clarion, starting to coach at North Clarion, and tasting that school atmosphere. And from then on, it was a pretty solid decision. I was excited to stay in that realm of coaching, teaching. So.
Of course. We'll get back to this interview in a couple minutes, but first we got a quick message from our friends at Redbank Chevrolet. You're watching the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet on Explore Clarion.
This is a great show.
Hey, check out this all-new 2024 Chevrolet Trax 1RS in cacti green. Let's talk about some of those safety features. We have blind spot monitoring system, we have forward collision system with alert and brake, and we have lane departure warning as well. How about the gas mileage?
30 mile per gallon average. Yeah, it's great. Bumper-to-bumper warranty and the 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty.
And check out the clarity on this backup camera on this 11-inch touchscreen. Can you believe you get all the features like heated steering wheel, heated seats, remote start, power sunroof, all for $24,900?
It's a great value in the new Chevrolet. Hey, check out this Glacier Blue RST Silverado 4x4 Z71 4-wheel drive, 5.3 liter V8. Really nice sharp truck. All LT and RST Silverados have this same interior. Got this really large touchscreen display, built-in Google Maps, heated seats, automatic climate control, heated steering wheel. We have a backup camera, really great display, and all the safety aspects. Adaptive parking, adaptive braking, pedestrian braking, blind spot mitigation.
Follow us to Redbank Chevrolet.
Hey Julie, nice deck. Did you get that at Tio Nesta Builder Supply?
It's Tio Nesta Builder Supply, and yes, Dave, I did.
Wonder if they sell siding and roofing at Tio Nesta Builder Supply.
It's Tio Nesta, and yes, Tio Nesta Builder Supply has that too. Come on, Dave. You've never been there? They have 2 showrooms for anything home improvement. Mom got a custom kitchen there. Bill down the street got the materials for his garage. They have this awesome website, www.tionestabuilders.us. You can buy online. They really have everything for the home.
Wow, I'm heading over to Tio Nesta. I know. Tio Nesta Builders.
Tio Nesta Builder Supply Home Improvement Center, family owned and operated since 1958, with locations in Tio Nesta and Shippensville.
That sounds good. I'll check them out online at tionestabuilders.us.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, live on Explore Clarion and from the Haskell House in Clarion, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet. We're back with professional snake juggler Roger Walter, and then Principal, Ed Baumcaratz.
You don't have anything else besides?
No, I didn't have anything interesting.
I don't like snakes.
No. But we want to get to both coaches as well. I wanted to get to that part of your guys' career and life. In terms of everything you've coached from any level, what all sports have you guys both coached, not just at the high school level, but little kids, elementary?
YMCA soccer from 5-year-old and up, minor league baseball, t-ball, little league, JV basketball, varsity basketball, both boys and girls. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
I agree with everything he said. I did a lot of youth striker coaching all the way up through. I did cross country for a year because I needed somebody. Girls softball a year at Clarion, maybe 2 years at Clarion. JV varsity basketball, boys and girls, and then junior high boys basketball.
And future bocce ball.
Maybe, that seems to be the growing trend. There's schools now sponsoring bocce ball, so hey, I like to play it. Why not?
But in terms of high school sports, you guys are most famous, I would say, for Clarion and North Clarion, respectively.
Yeah, I would say so.
Did you guys ever coach together, though?
We did. 1 year, 1 or 2 years?
I think it was 2 years.
I was the head coach here at Clarion, and he was the assistant coach.
Yeah, so I was boys junior high at Clarion for 2 years, a 7th grade coach, and then his JV opened up, and it was kind of a natural move over, and we had some good times. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
those 2 years.
I'll ask the same question I did when it comes to pursuing education, but in terms of coaching, is that something you guys always thought you wanted to do, or is it something that just came from matter of circumstances?
For me, it wasn't. It was kind of something I grew into, just being around the kids and then just trying to help out the schools, try to fill positions. But it kind of ignited my passion for sports.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think it was a plan, but I know, like, once that last game in your high school career, like, you walk away and think, now what?
Mm-hmm.
It was that next step. I mean, I went to college not expecting to coach that quickly, and then the opportunity opened up, again, referencing Ryan Kernicki and a phone call saying, what do you think? So, but once I had a taste there, and I started in 1999, it was the next 20 years of my life.
Of course. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you guys want to say it, as principals now and as officials now, you guys aren't coaching anymore. What do you miss about coaching, and what's different nowadays?
Good.
I miss the camaraderie with the team, and then just like bus rides after a big win. I miss this time of the year, like the playoffs, like prepping for playoffs, trying to get film and scouting reports for the kids, and then just like playing at Tippin Gymnasium or coaching at Tippin Gymnasium, like bigger events like that. That makes me miss it. But all the summer stuff and lots of practices, around Christmas time, I don't miss that.
What I miss most is just the competition, like looking across the bench and seeing that other coach. And Josh Meeker is a good one for me. Like, we had some historic battles, and even when we see each other today, it's still, hello, how are you? But you can tell, like, it's just that competitiveness that'll never go away. Of
course. What don't you miss, though?
What don't I miss? I enjoyed most of my time. Honestly, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't have been there. Rides home after road games in January and February.
Yeah, especially where you
live. There were some long trips home.
So. Yeah. Now, the specific season that stands out, I'm sure, for both of you guys was the 2012-13 season where you guys both won the K-Saxon District 9. Not on the same team, but with North Clarion boys for Ed, and then for Roger with Clarion girls. Do you guys still remember that? It's been 10 years now.
I do remember. The reason I remember it most was we won, and Ed was not coaching with me, but sitting right at the end of my bench. So it was discussing.
I don't know why I did that either. It felt natural to sit there. So.
Well, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to lean this way and listen to my coaching staff, or lean this way and get advice from Ed. So when we won that game, I'll never forget taking the court with my team, congratulating all of them and my coaches, and then he was the first guy I ran into, and it, like you said, it was just something to really celebrate together.
Were you at his championship?
I was. Not on the bench, but I was there.
And they were at Clarion High School. So before we went to the university, we had it at Clarion High School or Keystone. I think maybe we swapped. But there were so many people in Clarion High School for the night game. I think it was a Friday night for the boys and a Saturday for the girls. I mean, they were standing room only. I'm sure the fire marshal would have shut us down if they would actually counted the people. It was very full. And in a small gym like that with very like full to capacity, it's a great atmosphere to play in.
Yeah. And then you go outside and it's cold, but when it's in the gym, it's 80 degrees.
Yeah,
it's one of those type of events. Absolutely. Now, of course, you guys are both officiating now. What are the kind of the pros and cons of that? I understand you get yelled at a lot, but you guys are used to it at this point. You guys have both been coaching or officiating for what, over 20 years?
25 for me.
I think it's 19 for me.
Okay, so getting up there. But what do you enjoy about coaching? What do you not enjoy about officiating?
It's great to stay connected to the game, but it doesn't do the same thing coaching does. I mean, coaching, like I've mentioned, competitiveness. It's great to stay involved. The pro is definitely, you ref each single night and then you forget about it. Where coaching, it's a 4-month grind, and there's always planning and prep, and so sometimes it's nice to play the game and walk away.
Yeah, you don't have to take notes and learn from every single game. You just
No, we do put a lot of preparation into refereeing, believe it or not. We watch game film. We try to ride together. Roger and I officiate a lot together. And, we were at Du Bois on Friday. We made trips to St. Mary's, El County. We try to get around the area. But believe it or not, we actually do prep for the games. We know who the scorers are. We know who is the fouler, and we're prideful in that. And any good official preps for their game. And then also we talk about what do we mess up, and then we're asking for film. Hey, Coach Meeker, can you send us that film? So we want to look over a couple calls.
Sounds like you guys travel a lot for refs.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere from Du Bois, Clearfield, not too far west, but 80 anywhere from Knox AC Valley to Clearfield.
Interesting.
But it's good to get out of the district, out of our county, and get seen in the district and see different teams, and it's just beneficial for us to keep growing and become better officials.
Of course. One thing I wanted to pick your brain on, your guys' brain on while we're talking about refs is, of course, the ongoing shortage. It's a big topic. You guys are not the problem. You guys are kind of the solution to sticking with it. But a lot of people, whether it's just getting old or just lack of interest now, especially since COVID hit, we're losing out on some refs. And I forget who said it on the phone call. It was a perfect quote. It was saying, the kids stay the same age every year. But
yeah, we get older.
You guys are only getting older.
And the sad part is, I just turned 43. You're probably 44. And I feel like we're some of the younger officials on a varsity game. And it's only going to get worse. But yeah, it can be frustrating that we can keep up, but it's like, oh boy, they're still 16, and now we're getting older and older every year. So. And
I don't think the general public quite understands the planning and the commitment, because we're already scheduling games for next season. So schools are filling up, and to look at an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid right now and say, hey, I need to know what you're doing next January, February, or March. They don't know what they're doing next week.
Yeah. I'm 23 and I do not know what I'm doing. I got a wedding invitation from my cousin in August. I'm like, I don't know if I'll be alive in August at this point.
Well, I need you to commit to 40 nights next winter. So
but just for the younger kids, that's a big opportunity. You guys, I know District 10 did a ref program, just trying to get more kids involved, because that's a way you can stay with the game like you guys have. What do you say to those kids that are potentially involved or interested in getting involved with the reffing?
So we do have that in District 9 as well. So at North Clarion, we have 2 or 3 junior officials, and we get them on a junior high game. Myself will work with one, and Roger will work with one some nights. And it's good to get them some experience and under their belt, and try to get their mechanics, because that's the most important part. And just being comfortable with the whistle. But just giving those kids, that experience early on. They say if you keep them if you get them to ref 3 years, then we're going to keep them for a long time. So, but some of them will kind of, after a year or two, maybe give it up.
I just approach them with what matters most to them, which is money. And I say, listen, your buddies are going to have a part-time job, and they're going to work 8 hours. I need 2 hours of your day, and you'll make the same amount. So.
Right, and you can stay in shape too, running back and forth. Yep. Now, moving on, I want to talk, of course, about the principal aspect. You guys have a lot on your resume. I can just easily go from coaching to officiating. It's nice. But principals, you guys are both different areas of being principals. But when I both talked to you guys on the phone, you guys both said the same thing, where being a principal has changed, where when you guys were at North Clarion, you barely knew the principal and things like that. Now it's the complete opposite. You guys both want to approach each and every kid you can and be a support line. Yeah.
I think it's really changed, just because families now depend on schools for a lot of things, not just education. And if you can't reach out, make a relationship, have good communication, and just let them know that you're there to help, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah, and you don't know what they're going home to every night. That's what I tell my teachers. There's a reason Johnny might not have his homework done, because he doesn't have a mom or dad there, and he's living in an apartment with no heat.
Right.
There's things you have no idea about. And that we might know, but we can't really say much due to confidentiality, but we always try to give them that support and try to give them the resources they need.
Now, Ed, you're at the high school level, and Roger, you're at the elementary level. Why do you guys each prefer or not prefer, maybe want to change the levels that you guys are at? Why do you like elementary, Roger, and why do you like high school, Ed?
I guess to answer that, it's why I didn't choose high school. I really couldn't choose a content area or one thing that I really enjoyed that much. I enjoyed just the relationships and the interactions with kids. So I felt the elementary route was much better for me. And yeah, in those days, 25, 30 years ago, it was rare to have a male in the elementary school. And it was just a path I pursued.
I was a high school art teacher, so it just kind of made sense that I continued with the high school. It can be very challenging. I love sports, but you ask any principal, a lot of times the sports can take up some of your day if there's issues. So it's kind of like that double-edged sword where, I like it. I like going to watch the kids. I'm a very active principal. I like to go travel to different games. If my kids aren't playing, I'll, go to a playoff game here or a championship here or a play, The main thing with high school and elementary, there's more after-school events for high school. So, like my May schedule, and I know you're busy too, but there's banquets, like Career Center banquet and NHS, and there's just so much going on that can wear you as a high school principal. But again, I like to stay active and support the kids, and it means a lot to me whenever the next day they thank me for going to their musical. So they know I'm a supportive.
But you don't
person.
get to get taped to the wall, though.
No, I haven't got taped to the wall yet. No.
There's a lot he doesn't do.
I have been pied.
Okay, that's good. Every principal has to have that at least once.
Yes.
We'll be back. We'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with both of our principal official guests, and that's all coming up on the Main Street Sports Show, live from the Haskell House on exploreClarion.com.
No matter how cold it is outside, you can keep warm and toasty inside with a built-in the USA super efficient furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Affordable, quiet, and reliable. You can count on your furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Throughout West Central Pennsylvania, people are losing their glasses. Well, they haven't really lost them. They just don't need them anymore. Thanks to the amazing LASIK surgeons at Laurel Eye Clinic. Call Laurel Eye Clinic and schedule your free consultation.
Hi, my name is Jason and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Clarion Forest VNA believes the emotional and physical well-being of a patient is enhanced by the patient receiving care in the familiar surroundings of home. Their staff of caring professionals work closely with physicians to administer quality care to meet the needs of each individual. As a pioneer in home health care in Clarion and Forest County, Clarion Forest VNA continue to grow to meet the community's need for in-home care, offering many different services and programs to meet the patient's need. Clarion Forest VNA, located at 271 Perkins Road in Clarion. Call us toll-free at 1-800-262-2118.
Welcome to 12 Series, a veteran-owned and operated company. Want to stand out amongst the crowd? This is the brand for you. They have apparel that ranges from cardio tanks and hoodies to sweat noggin covers. The apparel isn't just designed for the gym, it's designed for everyday life. Whether at work, the range, or at a family outing, 12 Series will turn heads. Find and like 12 Series on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome back to the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet, live from the Haskell House on exploreClarion.com. One more niche you guys have as people is the fact that you guys are both husbands and fathers. I wanted to dive into that real quick. You guys are both 4 kids for one of you. Who has
4 for me?
4 for,
and I've got 3.
3. So just what are your kids? What are your ages, and where are they all at in their lives?
My kids actually all attend North Clarion, and I have an 8th grader named Owen, a 7th grader Ethan,
Great name.
a 5th grader Anna, and a kindergartner Eiley.
Okay, Noah, who's 16, has his permit sophomore at North Clarion, plays JV varsity basketball at North Clarion. Sydney, who's 14, 9th grade, plays JV varsity basketball. And then Olivia came along, and she's 4 years old in preschool. So a little bit of an age gap there, 9 years, but wouldn't change it for the world. So she's kind of the apple of the eye right now, and just blessed our family. So.
All at North Clarion, every single kid there.
Yes.
Are they close with each other? Are they friends at all? Or
They are. We used to camp a lot, and we'd camp, and the kids would play, just go all day and play in the campgrounds, and they love being around each other, playing sports. And
But on Valentine's Day, though, on the way here, we were just discussing how great our wives are, and we just felt like it was important to say that tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
And we apologize for this this episode having to be on Valentine's Day. So
my wife did get flowers at work today, so I was kind of I knew what to do.
Yeah, both of your guys' wives are nurses. How is that just another coincidence that happened?
I don't know. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Really, we didn't plan this. And if you ask my wife, she'd like to be a stay-at-home mom right now. So a little sore subject.
Your kid specifically going through athletics. You guys both aren't coaches anymore, but I'm assuming you guys kind of are when it comes to your kids being able to. How much? I don't know. What is that dynamic like? Not being a coach, but also still having your kids go through the high school ranks and being able to kind of coach them. And
it was funny. My boys had a junior high basketball game today, and they rode home with me. So they jumped in the truck, and I'm like, okay, here's what we have to work on. Here's what we're doing well, and you try to balance. I mean, I want them to make their own choices, and I don't want to push them too hard, but I just let them know anything you want to work on, I'm willing to, but you've got to make a little effort too. So they're great kids. I mean, they work hard. All my kids are really into it, so we're very happy.
So my daughter's more of a perfectionist, and she really loves basketball. My son, he just kind of does it. So I tried to, we work in the summertime, I bought her a shooting machine. So she eats it and breathes it. So once this is over, she's going to go to Rising Stars and do AAU, and I know his two boys will do the same thing. But at the game, I am the dad at the top row, and I record, and I simply record just so I keep my mouth shut. And I want her to listen to her coach and not listen to me as a dad. But I always want to try to be supportive to her, and usually she'll kind of start the conversation like, well, what'd you think of this? And then we'll talk about it. But I always let her make that decision. As a teenage girl, I never know what Sydney I'm going to get sometimes in terms of the attitude, so I kind of let her bridge that conversation. But this is all about them, and I'm not,
Where's the local outdoor basketball court nowadays? Is it at one of your guys' houses?
Actually, probably at North Clarion.
Interesting.
Yeah, we have a nice 2 full court. It used to be a tennis court, but we've refinished it and put up 4 baskets. So there's 2 full courts. So a lot of times in the summertime, the kids are out there playing.
Good.
So it is nice.
Now, you mentioned when you guys were playing high school, you mentioned the crowds lined up outside and things like that. Nowadays, it doesn't seem like it's as much as the case. How have you seen high school sports change from when you guys were in high school to where your kids are at now?
I'm going to blame Jake Bauer because he has made the online experience so good. Why would you want to leave your house on a cold February night when you can sit at home? So I blame him. But those bigger games are still going to be filled up.
Yeah, this time of year when things get to crunch time, you see the gyms fill up. I've been in gyms all week so far, and big crowds. North Clarion's lucky because they're a school that really every night of the season, they still bring a pretty good crowd and a pretty good following.
What else do you think has changed since the time that you guys have been in playing high school basketball to where your kids are at now?
I think the biggest difference is I remember having incredible battles with the neighboring schools and their best players that you didn't really know. I mean, you knew them, but you knew them because of basketball, and you had those half-hour relationships on the court. But my kids know every kid from every team by name and everything about them. When they walk on, they're not the enemy. They're just that kid that they know all the time.
And they follow on Instagram or something.
It's taken, I don't know if it's taken a good or a bad change, but it's definitely a change.
Yeah, social media's changed everything in terms of like everybody's friends with everybody. There's really not any rivals anymore. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, my sister's like that, dude. She's a sophomore, and I'll be like, well, don't you want to beat this team? It's like, no, Maddie's on it. I want to beat, I don't know. Now, I just want to go, while we have some time here, just some rapid-fire questions I had. We kind of went through the itinerary of your guys' life from being refs to teachers, the coaches, the principals, all that good stuff. But just a couple random questions I have. First off, as refs, I don't know if you guys have the answer to this. Why in the world do you guys have to wear slacks and dress pants in gymnasiums that are like 80 degrees with a bunch of people? Who made that up?
I don't know where it came from, but I think the thought is we are professionals in that atmosphere, and I think just to kind of keep that status.
Yeah, and we gotta no matter who's yelling behind, we gotta be the bigger people, a bigger person, and be professional at all times. So you gotta look the part, I guess.
Of course. Do you guys have a favorite gym to ref or coach or play in or anything like that?
I mean, it's really great to referee at Tippin Gymnasium during playoff time.
Of course.
I like Clarion High School. They have a beautiful gym.
I like the gyms where there's a student section underneath the hoops and everything kind of comes in close. That's one of the great things about basketball is it's an intimate, everyone's right here. And I think the bigger you can pack that and the bigger the crowds, I mean, as officials, we love intense atmospheres. It just makes it that much better experience for us. So any gym like that, I would say.
What are your opinions? Another one I just thought of. What are your opinions on student sections? As refs, you guys kind of have to keep them in check a little bit, but obviously you love the atmosphere and the intensity from them. But any thoughts? Just overall,
I love them, and I think the bigger, louder, more creative, the better. As long as they don't get personal, and there's lines you can't cross, but around here we don't really see that often. So
I mean, we're not really in charge of the crowd. It's usually the game manager at the school.
Yeah.
So if we see an issue, we just simply tell the AD, hey, can you go down? Like one of the major things is if fans calling out a student by their name or a number. So that's one thing. Okay, guys, just knock it off and then move on.
What's your favorite time? I think I know the answer to this, but your favorite type of games to ref have to be the playoffs, right?
Like right now. Like those games that might determine playoff seedings. The KSAC, I'm going to throw a plug in here. The KSAC games are this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if you're available, please come out and support the KSAC or watch it on exploreClarion. So like right now, playoffs especially, and I don't have a referee's dream or goal is to have their name called to go referee at Hershey. That's really not a career goal of mine, but working a game at Hershey would be an honor.
Of course. Another random question I had, and this one might butt some heads, but basketball, one-on-one, who wins?
Oh, me.
I would probably agree with that. Maybe 6 out of 10 times.
6 out of 10? That's almost half, though.
Yes, you're right.
What positions did you guys play in high school?
Both guards.
Yeah. Both guards.
Yeah.
Any accolades, individual? Like, did any of you guys hit 1,000 or anything?
No, close, didn't make it. Neither one of us got many minutes as like freshmen and as young players, but
we had a lot of great players ahead of us, so it was good to play with them, and we just had to wait our turn. Unlike now, you see a lot of freshmen starting varsity, and you see Miley Harmon from Redbank already passed 1,000 as a junior. She's a great player. Back then, there were so many kids and playing. It was kind of hard to get those 5 spots, those starting spots.
I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I said, I really feel like the teams aren't as good as the teams used to be, but the better players are better than the better players used to be. Seems like there's some absolute stars, but maybe it's just us looking back thinking it was better in our time.
More competitive in terms of like your 5th guy off the bench or something like that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I see some like these Devin Lowers and Lily Homans will come in and just take over the game.
Right.
And then I don't know. What do you think that's due to off-season training? And a lot of kids just don't stop playing.
If you're a true basketball player in about 5th grade, you start and you don't stop and you play until you graduate and maybe beyond that.
And if you want to be good, that athlete might say, okay, I'm just going to focus on basketball. I'm going to do basketball season now, and I'll do AAU, and then I'll start back over in the summertime.
We talked about that with our wrestling with Braun Gorley, talking about these kids that are just pinning every kid left and right. It's because they wrestle the entirety throughout the season. Is that something you would, I don't know, kind of push your kids to do potentially, or do you want them to experience every sport? And
I always say I want them to be as good as they can be in each sport, but I hope they don't specialize. I think there's too much you miss, and let's be honest, maybe a college game they're going to play in, but no one's gone beyond that. I mean, it takes someone very special to go beyond that.
I encourage my kids to play, like soccer, because it's a low impact sport, easier on your knees. You can learn some physicality through that. So if they're playing basketball, my son does baseball, and then my daughter does AAU. But I want them to, explore what's out there in high school. And the problem with a small school, Clarion and North Clarion, is we got to share athletes. A lot of our numbers are starting to dwindle, so we've got to work together. The coaches have to work together to share athletes.
Right. What are your opinions just overall on the general co-oping aspect of high school sports nowadays?
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
You lose those rivalries maybe, but at the end of the day, they're friends anyways, and it just gives more kids opportunity, so I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it comes down to losing sports programs or co-oping, absolutely. And it's so tough because the junior high programs are still pretty healthy, and it's hard to predict what happens between that junior high and JV season when we lose so many kids.
Of course. Now, we have obviously 4 big games coming up Thursday and Friday, and then 2 more on Saturday. KSAC championships are coming up at Clarion University. We're going to preview that when we get back. That's all coming up on the Haskell House, Redbank Chevrolet, Explore Clarion, Main Street Sports Show.
You can afford a gorgeous, custom-designed hardwood Kale's kitchen for a lot less than you'd pay at a DIY store. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. At Kale's, there are never middleman markups or hidden charges that can add 40%. Go to FactoryDirectKitchens.net. That's FactoryDirectKitchens.net.
Dubrook, a division of M&B Group, is your trusted local ready-mix supplier for residential and commercial projects. Dubrook provides a full line of decorative concrete, as well as concrete supplies, along with a variety of concrete tools and accessories. Dubrook can provide services large or small for residential and commercial projects to contractors or homeowners. Dubrook is here to provide you with options and ideas to make planning your next project simple. Let Dubrook help you with the supplies you need to get the job done. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities with plants in Clarion, Du Bois, St. Mary's, Butler, Evans City, Bradford, and Meadville. Call 1-844-382-7665.
Clarion Forest VNA believes the emotional and physical well-being of a patient is enhanced by the patient receiving care in the familiar surroundings of home. Their staff of caring professionals work closely with physicians to administer quality care to meet the needs of each individual. As a pioneer in home health care in Clarion and Forest County, Clarion Forest VNA continue to grow to meet the community's need for in-home care, offering many different services and programs to meet the patient's need. Clarion Forest VNA, located at 271 Perkins Road in Clarion. Call us toll-free at 1-800-262-2118.
Hi, my name is Jason, and welcome to Sweet Basil. Come on in.
Throughout West Central Pennsylvania, people are losing their glasses. Well, they haven't really lost them. They just don't need them anymore. Thanks to the amazing LASIK surgeons at Laurel Eye Clinic. Call Laurel Eye Clinic and schedule your free consultation.
No matter how cold it is outside, you can keep warm and toasty inside with a built-in-the-USA super efficient furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Affordable, quiet, and reliable, you can count on your furnace from Luton's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. Before we go any further, I wanted to make a special announcement tonight, with today being a very special day, that being my dog's birthday. Nothing else is going on today. My Australian Shepherd turned 12 today. I love you, Bear. If you're watching, which you aren't, I love you. That's an actual thing that happened. But more importantly, the reason why we are doing this on Wednesday is because tomorrow is the start of the KSAC playoffs. You guys will be there. Both of you guys, are you guys both reffing games at all this weekend?
Yes. Yeah.
Potentially. Mine is kind of hinges on Clarion's success, so I won't officiate a Clarion team.
A lot of good matchups coming up. This will be my first trip to the KSACs. What can you guys prepare me for?
So I can say, some coaches don't like them. And the reason they don't like them is it's another game that kind of means nothing. but they're worried about getting hurt. Okay, so they're worried about winning district titles. Don't necessarily want to play those extra games. But I have a pitch like you get maybe 1 to 2 games on that university floor, which is 10 feet bigger than the high school floor. That's a huge advantage come playoff time.
Of course.
And it's going to be a great event. We usually fill up tipping, and it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Of course.
There's going to be great matchups. It is the boys' side specifically, I believe, is wide open. If you watch the end of the season, the 4 teams involved, they could win any night, they could lose any night. So, I mean, it's going to be very exciting. Girls seems to be a little bit more of a favorite on top, but again, you play the games for a reason.
Those matchups specifically, real quick. Thursday is girls basketball's first day. All these games at Clarion University. North Clarion plays Karn City at 6. Redbank Valley and Clarion play at 7:30. For boys basketball on Friday, Clarion and Karn City have the 6 o'clock game, and then Redbank and Clarion Limestone have the Friday late game. Saturday, the girls basketball winners will play at 6, and then at 8 o'clock, not 7:30, will be the boys basketball winners. Is there a specific game there that stands out to you guys outside of the ones you'll be roughing?
Like I said, both boys games I think are going to be very good games, and I would hate to have to pick a winner. I think the girls' good game for tomorrow night will be the North Clarion Karn City game. They just had a close game a week or 2 ago, so this is a rematch, a pretty fresh game, and I think those will be your highlight games.
I'm sure you'll be there for your daughter, Ed.
Yeah, I'll be there to support her. I think both games, like Roger said, on the Friday night are going to be amazing, and I think that place will be packed Friday afternoon. I do know Thursday, I think between the games, the District 9 committee is going to release the brackets. So we did that last year, which was pretty cool to release those. And then we're also, I don't know what day it is, we are acknowledging the KSAC teams, so we call the kids out on the floor to get some acknowledgement at the game. So I think that's pretty important to have those kids recognized.
Now, you guys have both won KSAC championships in your time as coaches. What does it take to win one of these things and move on in the districts?
Control your emotions. Games are there's gonna be ebb and there's gonna be a flow to each game, and control your emotions. Don't get too high, don't get too low, especially if you're gonna make a deep playoff run. You're gonna be challenged, and you just hope there's no injuries and everybody peaks at the right time and work hard.
You have to coach differently because you're going to be yelling plays and they're not going to hear you one bit. So you got to, I made signs for, the players to hold up, and they just got to realize you got to sub better. You have to have a plan to subs because that extra 10 feet really makes a big difference. So maybe our deeper teams might have an advantage, but it's going to be a good time, good atmosphere. It gets them ready for the playoffs.
And of course. I think you need to throw in a wrinkle, especially in today's world where you can watch games every night online and pick up. Scouting is kind of a thing of the past, or at least traveling to scout is a thing of the past. So at this time of year, you better throw in something that people haven't seen, just to have a trick in your back pocket.
I'm sure, most of the teams will stay after or come before to watch who they could potentially play in the next games.
And then what's also nice is a lot of the other KSAC schools come to support each other.
Right.
So you'll see coaches from every school, players, just come in to watch and kind of wish they were playing.
Of course. Any other local games? Or I want to talk about some just other local stuff while we have the time. Did you guys ref? I'm assuming you guys ref throughout the week. What games did you guys hit this week?
Monday night, I had a busy night Monday night. Ref a junior high game, then a JV game, then a varsity game.
Nice.
Keystone and Redbank boys handled it pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then last night I had a great matchup. I had the Brookville CL boys game.
Okay.
And it was competitive from the tip to the buzzer. It was a very good game.
Who came out on that one?
CL handled them by the end. Yep.
I'm not doing as many games because my kids are playing, so I did a Brookville 9th grade game yesterday, and I did a boys varsity at Du Bois last Friday.
Interesting. And then just for me as a sports journalist, I will mention I covered the Redbank girls wrestling match last night against Kerwinsville, and boys wrestling followed it. It's first ever D9 dual meet, and girls wrestling was fantastic. Great atmosphere there, packed gym, so that was definitely nice to see as well.
Very cool.
That is neat to get that started. So that's good, Redbank.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, we're going to wrap things up here for this segment. But that'll kind of conclude what we have just with you guys here on the air and on camera. Anything else? Final thoughts? KSAC predictions, winners? I don't know if you guys can make those or what, but
I prefer not to make any announcements. All I'm going to say is if any of our viewers out there want to become an official, just go to piaa.org. You like to help us during the games. If you want to make a difference, and we train people. We'll make if somebody signs up to be an official, we'll help them with a test and get proper mechanics and uniforms and whatnot. So it'd be a great opportunity. if anybody's interested to do that.
Do you guys still do, I'm just a random question, do you guys still do like PSSAs, or is that a thing of the past?
No, we still do this.
You guys, when is that? When was that season? Is that coming up?
April, May.
Yeah.
Oh boy, so that's principal playoffs right there.
That is principal playoffs.
Yeah.
Well,
We
good
give
luck
the kids
there.
candy, and we try to pep rallies to get them ready for the test.
I
right?
remember being sick during PSSAs. My mom wouldn't let me miss it. My mom was a teacher, an elementary school teacher, so she wouldn't let me miss it. But I thought they were the thing of the past. I dreaded that week. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We'll wrap things up. We'll have one more segment at the end here, but we'll be back on the Main Street Sports Show, sponsored by Redbank Chevrolet.
Thank you.
Hey, Julie, nice deck. Did you get that at Tio Nesta Builder Supply?
It's Tio Nesta Builder Supply, and yes, Dave, I did.
Wonder if they sell siding and roofing at Tio Nesta Builder Supply.
It's Tio Nesta, and yes, Tio Nesta Builder Supply has that too. Come on, Dave. You've never been there? They have 2 showrooms for anything home improvement. Mom got a custom kitchen there. Bill down the street got the materials for his garage. They have this awesome website, www.tionestabuilders.us. You can buy online. They really have everything for the home.
Wow, I'm heading over to Tio Nesta. I know. Tio Nesta Builders.
Tio Nesta Builder Supply Home Improvement Center, family owned and operated since 1958, with locations in Tio Nesta and Shippensville.
That sounds good. I'll check them out online at tionestabuilders.us.
Dubrook, a division of M&B Group, is your trusted local ready-mix supplier for residential and commercial projects. Dubrook provides a full line of decorative concrete, as well as concrete supplies, along with a variety of concrete tools and accessories. Dubrook can provide services large or small for residential and commercial projects to contractors or homeowners. Dubrook is here to provide you with options and ideas to make planning your next project simple. Let Dubrook help you with the supplies you need to get the job done. Dubrook is proud to support our local communities with plants in Clarion, Du Bois, St. Mary's, Butler, Evans City, Bradford, and Meadville. Call 1-844-382-7665.
Protect your home or business from all those sneaky pests. Give Hugh Henry's Pest Management a call at 814-316-1875 or check them out online at bugguy.com. Pest Management, where nature and technology meet.
Welcome back to the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. Our quick wrap-up segment here is basically a promotion for EYT Sports, because we got a lot coming up in terms of broadcasts that I want to announce, most specifically the KSAC playoffs coming up starting tomorrow. So just a quick rundown on what will be happening. If you want to be there in person, of course, it'll be $5 for adults and $3 for students, and that'll be at Clarion University. All of these games at the Pippin Gymnasium, I think is what it's called. Thursday, starting will be the girls' matchup. Starting North Clarion and Carn City will start playing. The 2 North Clarion being the 2 seed and Carn City the 3. Mike Kalinowski and Lexus Bauer will be on the call there. And then the late game for Thursday will be the 1 seed at Redbank Valley versus Clarion at the 4 on the 4 seed at 7:30. Mike Kalinowski and Lexus with the call there as well. Friday is boys. That'll start with the 2v3 seeds, the 2 seed being Clarion, the 3 seed being Carn City. That is at 6 p.m. Mike Kalinowski and Dustin Kiefer will be on that. And then the late game, the 1v4 game at 7:30 p.m. Kalinowski and Mayor Kiefer will be on that for Redbank Valley versus Clarion Limestone. Redbank Valley being the 1 seed, CL being the 4 seed. And then Saturday is basically the winners. Girls basketball, Mike Kalinowski and Lexus Bauer will be on the call for the girls basketball winners. And then at 8 p.m., not 7:30, will be the boys basketball winners. So Kalinowski and Kiefer there as well. Our next show will be back on Thursday, because we don't have anything. This is tentatively speaking right now. We don't know what's going to happen in terms of playoff schedules. But as of right now, our next broadcast for the Main Street Sports Show will be Thursday back at the Haskell House at 7 o'clock. With Mike Brown, North Clarion's boys basketball coach. So yeah, we'll wrap things up. Thank you for being part of the Redbank Chevrolet Main Street Sports Show. We'll be back next Thursday with more sports and sports insights and things. Until then, good night from the Haskell House and happy Valentine's Day.